Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Rambling About WoW. Today, before we start, I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you ever thought about being a merchant in a game, especially in WoW? Well, that's one of the ideas that we are going to talk about today. But before we move to that, let's talk about potential mounts. Right. So, the first idea I had was a simple horse carriage, horse wagon, horse cart, whatever. Because we don't have any of those, and we can see them in the game itself. So, a horse wagon is pretty much a, well, wagon like this, being pulled by a horse or a different beast of burden. Let's say for the Alliance it could be horses, right? But for the Horde it could be something like wargs or a Kodo. I mean, we see a wagon being pulled in, not Coastlands. What was the area called? Come on, map, load faster. It was called Silverpine, where on this road, I believe to the Sepulchre, whatever, there is a wagon being pulled by an Etin, and you can mount on it and have a free ride. On the other hand, there is also the Worgen starting area, where there is a carriage. Hell, I mean, there is a merchant called Fiona, who takes you on a ride with her carriage on the Eastern Plaguelands after you finish a few quests. You have a nice little adventure with her party. But yeah, that's just the basic introduction, I guess. So, the first idea would be a basic horse wagon pulled by one horse, not necessarily looking like this, but, well, it's gonna be easier to just show. And this would be a 3-person mount. The driver, sitting here, of course, and 2 people in the back, on the sides. Imagine, like what you can see in Skyrim when you are being transported to Helgen at the very beginning of the game. Something like that. Then there could be a more expensive one, with, let's say, it would be a merchant wagon, and it would have 2 chests right behind the driver. One would be your bank, your storage. The other one would be the guild bank. And then there would be 2 slots for people to sit in the back. Right, and finally, the carriage. We've seen one in mentioned Gilneas and Eastern Plaguelands. How would that work? It would be a 5-man mount. It would be pulled by 1, maybe 2 horses. And there would be the driver sitting on the top, right? And 4 people inside. Rather simple idea, but still, it would work, and yeah, would bring a little bit more of a taste to the game. Even more if we talk about RP servers. So now, let's go to the merchant part. If you ever wanted to be a merchant and you are not satisfied with only role-playing it, and before we move forward, I do tend to play on Argent Dawn from time to time. And there are those quote-unquote traders roaming around on foot. They're just slowly roaming around with a small caravan of 5-6 people. Some of them are guards, some of them are legit traders. They will just search for deals, they will sell you items, they will talk with you, you know, about what they need. They will give you, in a way, they will give you quests. But that's the beauty of RP servers. So they just roam around the entire World of Warcraft and just search for deals. And I can tell you from my own experience, they actually do pay pretty well. So, now we are gonna move to the potential new profession, at least with this idea. Trading, mercantile, whatever we want to call it. It would take place of the removed first aid. So what would it be? It would pretty much be what you can see in either Black Desert, Mabinogi if you remember that game, or, well, maybe not exactly what we can see in Arche Age, because trade packs are a little bit different. But yeah, pretty much there would be a NPC in every like little hub, or bigger hub rather, that would sell you goods. And yeah, your target would be to transport those goods to a place further away that would allow you to make more money for them. And let's say that we buy something from Stormwind. There is a merchant who sells you like, oh, I don't know, 20 potions or something to transfer to some other place. You could have a choice of Goldshire, which would give you like maybe 2 gold, 2 I don't know, silver income, right, per potion. Or you could go further and search for a different place. Let's say that you are going to Booty Bay. Those guys will give you over 50% income on those potions. But yeah, this would also require a fluctuating market, kind of like we can see in Mabinogi, where the traders are roaming between cities and just trying to make a living. Although unlike there, I don't think having ducats, which is the trading currency, is really advisable for this game. But still, after you would complete a delivery, after you would sell the goods, you would gain a few points of your profession. So let's say we went the easy way and went from Stormwind to Lakeshire in Redridge. Let's say that this gives us 5 points. We also get paid. But yeah, this is how it would basically work. But how do we transport the goods? Well, on foot. We will go mostly with the BDO and the Mabinogi idea here, where we will be starting with a simple backpack, right, which carries, let's say, 20 items. And we buy those 20 items, we have a backpack, we move on the ground. We cannot use flight paths, we cannot use portals, we cannot use mounts, we cannot use flying mounts. And yeah, we continue doing that and making money, potentially. We also gain skill up at some point, let's say after reaching 25 or 50 points of skill up. We gain access to a cart that we pull behind us, and let's say that this thing would have, let's say, double the amount of capacity. So again, we continue transporting the stuff, we making money. The next step would be, let's say, at 100. It would be a pack mule, just like what we can see here. We could sit on it still, we would have all the bags on it and all that jazz. It would be a bit faster, yes, and of course it would fit more goods again. The next step would be allowing us to use a carriage, or a wagon rather, which would carry even more and would be on a speed of a proper riding mount. Let's say the mule would be 60%, this would be 100%. And after that, we would gain access to the best trading mount, which I imagine would be an Elec for the Alliance and a Kodo for the Horde. But now you're saying, but that's easy, it will be easy to exploit and get bots to do this. But here's the thing. On the road, you would be encountering some bandits, some other situations. From stuff like a random merchant spawning and asking you for a trip together. You know, protecting him and all of that jazz. To simple bandits who will attack you and try to rob you. Now, here's the thing. When you get attacked, you would drop everything on the ground. You would drop the backpack on the ground. You would drop the cart. You would get dismounted of the mule, the cart. They would stand in the open. You would have to defend yourself. You would have to defend your cart as well. If you fail to do so, the bandits would just start slowly picking on your goods. And I imagine up to 10% could be stolen, because let's not make it too harsh. I mean, people want to still do this, right? But yeah, they start picking up your items. And let's say that we will go with the Mabinogi style of bandits, where after each time a NPC picks up an item from your wagon or whatever, they will get a star above their head, which means how much items they stole. You will be still able to kill them to retrieve those items. If you fail, they will just run away and poof, be gone. This could also work in war mode, because, well, we like PvP, right? And yeah, it would be something like, for transporting goods in a PvP enabled state, you would be getting a substantial increase of money. You would get access to more expensive wares. But yeah, that's the base idea. Also, one important thing. You could be ambushed by a player, right? If he would be successful and defeated you, he could then pick some of the items, but not as merchandise, right? As simple items, which he could sell for maybe a little bit under the value of what it was bought for. So, for example, let's say that the wares were worth 5 gold each, right? He picks up, let's say, 10 of them. He can sell it for, let's say, 4.5 gold to a simple vendor. It would not only allow people to have some, well, quite meaningful PvP, because, well, I imagine there would be some trading caravans happening here and there. But yeah, PvP would also profit from it. Besides that, what would the skill ups earn us? Well, access to new, quote-unquote, mount, the trading bags and all of that jazz. It could give us discounts on certain goods. It could increase our rep gains. Also, I would imagine that every place that we visit, like Stormwind or whatever, could have their own sub-reps, I guess, which pretty much would work on the rule that the more you work for a place, the more they like you, the more goods they are ready to actually offer you. So let's say that you start with something extremely cheap. Then you rank up and get more and more profitable deals. Of course, this would have to have a reasonable amount of gold to, you know, for you to actually be able to earn. So I don't know. There's a lot of room to actually work with this. But as I mentioned, 3 games do it really well: Mabinogi, Black Desert, and Arche Age. Though Arche Age is more focused on the trade packs, which can be quite a PvP shit show at some points, but it's pretty good still. But yeah, that's the basic idea for this. What are your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? What would you change, add? What are your ideas about this entire topic? Leave your ideas and suggestions down below. It's always nice to speculate and ramble about, eh? And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!